Humans have rituals for beginnings and endings. We get all dolled up for New Year's Eve, throw retirement parties, buy gifts for both engagements and weddings, and send graduation announcements. We ritualize the beginning of a day with a morning routine that we probably copied from someone else and mark the end of the week with a Friday margarita. We're good at starting and we're good at finishing. But we don't know what to do with ourselves in the in-between. With the melancholy as we wait to fall in love, with the frustration of infertility, with the hope of a job interview, with the worrisome boredom 6 months in once we get the job. Our culture just isn't set up to support it. In other words, we are just really bad at waiting. One creature that's very good at waiting, the lobster. About twice a year, lobsters begin outgrowing their shells. The signal that they're growing, they get really uncomfortable. But they know what to do when their shells begin feeling tight and their limbs get awkwardly long. They go into hiding. I imagine a lobster saying to its friends, "Hey guys, I'm going to be out of the office for a couple weeks, busy growing a new shell, nothing personal." And then it goes into a burrow, puts up a do not disturb sign, and, I don't know, catches up on all 5 seasons of The Wire or something. The lobster knows it's going to be vulnerable during this time, unprotected and getting used to a new shape. The time hiding by itself is not only a poetic period of self-reflection, but necessary for its survival. I think humans might be so uncomfortable with transition periods because we don't give ourselves the right to be lonely and uncomfortable like lobsters do. We're so often told, focus on the positive, choose happiness, good vibes only, that we feel like something must be wrong with us when we're not a living, breathing, inspirational cross-stitch pillow. I'm not irritated by cheeriness. In fact, my worldview skews canary yellow level optimistic. But I don't like emotional binaries. The idea that you're either happy or sad, positive or negative. Think positive gives us only one option out of a vast and fluid range of perspectives for experiencing whatever we're going through. It implies that anything less than the nebulous positive is undesirable and that it should be fought against. If we're not happy, we must not be making the correct emotional choice. 2 years ago, I received a book deal, which made my life seem 1,000,000 times brighter and more glowy than ever. Making a book is the only dream I've ever had for myself, and it came true. So I decided to make that dream come true even dreamier and write my book in a foreign country. Why not? I Googled most bohemian cities in the world to help me decide on a place to be a real writer for a few months. After getting a few cosmic or totally coincidental signs pointing in the direction of Spain, I decided on Granada. It sounded pretty nice. Granada. And indeed, it was pretty nice. I'm an avid solo traveler, so for me it was heaven getting to explore the streets and art and architecture by myself. My days went like this. In the morning, I'd write from an outdoor cafe with a cappuccino. In the afternoon, I'd go to my daily flamenco lesson, which took place in an old cave. In the evening, I'd go out to wine bars and seafood restaurants and meet people, many of whom were also artists and writers. Turns out Granada actually is a very bohemian city. It was bliss until one afternoon when my legs began feeling really weak after a dance class. I dismissed it, chalking it up to too much dancing, too much wine, and probably not enough water, until my hands and arms started weakening too. I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, an autoimmune disease that went on a rampage through my body, trying to destroy my nerves so that they couldn't work for me anymore. Rude, right? The next couple of weeks were marked with excruciating pain and discomfort from lying on a hard mattress in a hot hospital room. I was discouraged, in pain, and feeling very sorry for myself. But I wasn't alone. Friends texted me nonstop, asking me how I was, telling me they were praying for me. Flowers arrived for me daily. My mom was there, and nurses checked on me once an hour. I was miserable, but surrounded by people. The transition time that followed was actually much lonelier. When I got out of the hospital, I could walk, but it was unpleasant. I felt like I had a rubber band tied around my legs, so each step was a chore. I could use my arms, but my hands were so weak I needed help with daily tasks like opening a can to make lunch. and I could socialize, but I found it really hard to stay present when my friends would tell me about their relationship woes or work struggles. People kept asking me when I'd get better, but I had no idea what that would look like, or even if it was possible for me. It was a period of waiting. During that time, I wasn't focusing on the positive or choosing happiness. In fact, I was distinctly unhappy. So I felt like I wasn't making the right emotional choice. Over the course of a couple months, it got too strenuous to keep pretending I was getting back to normal. It became clear that there wouldn't be one specific day when I'd wake up and feel like my old self. And it also became clear that my old self no longer existed. Trying to keep up with my self-induced pressure to be positive was exhausting. So I made some decisions to be true to my own experience. I stopped using the phrase, "I feel like I should," and instead tried to show up for the emotions I was feeling in that moment. I also went into my own burrow, i.e. my bedroom, for a while and began creating art and writing about what was really going on with me. My fears that I'd never get better, my frustrations with my new physical changes, and the way that depression felt like a flame in my heart that I couldn't put out. My honesty was met with community. People told me that they felt the same way and that I wasn't alone. After a couple of months, I began feeling different. I started getting accustomed to my new way of moving and even took a dance class again that accommodated my inability to point my toes. I found that I could bring some new empathy to my conversations with friends that I didn't have before. My art and writing style evolved and reflected what I was truly going through. My shape was changing, my shell was hardening, and it felt like a new morning.